What do I love about Islay? I love the people. There's a fantastic, warming community here. It's a great place to live.
My life was full of bridges and islands as a metaphor. We're always choosing paths, and that path, maybe it's a bridge and it drops us somewhere, and sometimes it's a very nice landing, and sometimes it's not. But there always was a hope in me that even if I had a bad landing, it was taking me to a better place in the long run.
Laphroaig's past is steeped in trailblazers. Ian Hunter, Bessie Williamson, they moved with the modern world, but they never compromised traditions, taste, flavour, quality. They remained true to what made Laphroaig, Laphroaig. My name's Barry MacAffer. I am the distillery manager here at Laphroaig. I started here 11 years ago.
So when Barry first started at Laphroaig, he was so enthusiastic. He was a new pup in the department of all the old dogs. He absolutely loves being in the malt floors. It was one of his favourite departments in the distillery.
When I walk into the maltings, I get that sense of belonging and home. It's where I started. It's my first job. I'm always going to hold that kind of special part in my heart to the malt floors. Working at Laphroaig makes me proud because of the role I'm in right now. It makes my family proud. We rely on these traditions and experiences passed on to the next generation, to the next one. I think Laphroaig's DNA runs through my veins.
We have many things in common. I knew that they were doing some things that were very incredible and unique. I knew about the relation with smoke and fire, so I thought that it was a natural thing to come and visit and learn and understand what their idiosyncrasy of thoughts were, which was a relation with what I do. My name is Francis Mallmann. I'm from Argentina. I'm a chef. I was raised in Patagonia. I learned how to cook in France. And I changed my cooking language when I was 40 into fires.
Hello!
Hello!
Welcome!
How are you?
I'm very well, how are you?
So what is this Scottish weather?
We brought the elements for you.
Ah!
Come on up.
So, what are we going to do today?
So today I'm going to take you to the car. We're going to take a wee scenic trip round the island and we'll take you straight to the peat banks to cut some peat.
Oh my God, that's interesting. Well,
Yes,
let's go.
Let's go.
Off we go. So tell me about you. Were you born here, raised here? How is your story in the island?
Yeah, so I'm what you would call an Islay.
Islay.
So I was born and raised on Islay. I've been here my whole life. So for me, whiskey's played quite a role in our lives. What are you expecting from your first Laphroaig? Got any idea about flavours, or is it going to be quite a surprise?
So I've never tried Laphroaig before, so it's a mystery. I'm sure it will be delicious, very special, and I'm looking forward to tasting it.
So this is us going to have a look at the peat banks now.
Yes, look at this place. My God, so beautiful.
It's just stunning, isn't it? So we're going to have a wee look at cutting the peats, and we can have a wee look at the peats themselves as well. So it's the very essence of what we add at Laphroaig. So today we've got David and Donnie with us, and they're going to be showing us a bit of the peat cutting.
Look at that.
So what we see here is thousands of years of decomposed moss and trees and flowers.
Even seaweed, I heard.
Exactly. So the seaweed plays a big part in the flavours that we're looking for at Laphroaig.
Salt. A bit of saltiness.
Quite briny, very maritimey. So what we'll do after we've cut the peat is we're going to lay it out flat on the bank, as you can see in front of us here. And then you can see that David's got his little peat stacks
Yes.
on the bank. So they'll stay like that until the kind of back end of the summer.
Yes, and then the air goes through them, through the stacks.
Exactly.
Maybe I'll get one of these in. God, they're very dry already, these ones.
Yes, they are, aren't they? So they've still got a little bit of moisture about them, but you can see they've really dried out in comparison
Yeah.
to the fresh peat.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I heard you have a distillery manager called Barry, and I'm really looking forward to meeting him and to understand what he does. Because I imagine that as in cooking, there are these little gestures that make up taste and so many things that must be related to the incredible whiskey you do.
So what we're going to do now is go and have a look at the peat fires.
Yes,
You can have a look at
the actual mystery and magic of it.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Francis.
meet you too.
So this is William.
Campbell, how are you?
So for 12 hours, it's a cold smoking process. So we don't necessarily want any heat. We don't want any flames from the fire as such. And that's really just going to concentrate the barley, taking in all these lovely flavours that we want for our whiskey. So we're going to start the fire with quite a dry peat. Kimball will show you just behind us here.
Yeah.
So because that's quite dry, it'll take well, but of course because there's not much moisture in it, it's not going to give us that smokiness that we want for our barley. So we're
Then we move to that.
Exactly. So you can see there's much more moisture in that.
it's called
darkened.
How is that called?
Calf. C-A-F-F. It's just, there's a wee bit more moisture and it's good for damping the flames down. And it gives you good smoke quality.
Yeah,
And
and,
it just
and the
keeps-
humidity too.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. There's not a lot to it. There's a fan up the top in the pagoda and that draws the smoke through the bed. We've got sliding doors and it all depends what way the wind direction is.
Yes.
So there's quite a lot of factors. So it's quite an experience lighting the fire, to be honest.
Well, just like me, it's you really have to know a lot about it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not only your wood, it's the wind, it's the climate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you go up and actually see upside, you'll see how much smoke is actually in the kiln. It's quite impressive.
The smell I get if I put my hand here.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Oh my God.
That's lovely, isn't it?
You
Yeah.
should do a perfume.
Yes. You'll smell like that
perfume.
all day.
Yeah. And I would love to maybe bury a couple of potatoes later here. Don't let anybody know. But I think they will be quite delicious to be cooked, sort of in there for in an hour and a half. They should be ready with this heat. It's truly a statement of joy, what I'm looking at.
Okay, so I think we'll go and have a look at the malt floors now.
Okay, very good. Nice meeting you.
Yes.
I'll be back for the potatoes. Don't tell anybody.
So what we've got here then is our kiln fire. So this is the top above that fire we just had a look at down below.
Yeah.
So it's been smoking now for a couple of hours. So you can really get in about that grain and smell that smokiness in it already.
It's very strong. And do you move this?
Yes, so we'll move it every couple of hours.
Yes.
And we're just making sure that we're smoking it evenly and then drying it out evenly as well.
It's very beautiful, delicious.
Yeah, and if you want, you
Smell.
can have a little taste of it as well. So you'll remember me saying we're not drying it out at this stage, but we are smoking it. So still got a little bit of moisture in there.
Yeah.
Quite
It's
sweet.
Sweet and it's nutty.
Yes,
No?
it is nutty. It's very pleasant, isn't it? So, shall we go and have a wee look at the finished product next door?
Okay, let's go.
So this is the Laphroaig warehouse, Francis. So I'm going to take you down to meet Barry and we might even have a wee glass of Laphroaig.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's very exciting.
So, Francis, this is Barry.
Barry.
Francis.
How are you?
Grand. Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Laphroaig.
Thank you.
It's lovely to meet you.
Thank you.
And I understand you've been round now?
Oh, yes. I've been
Yes?
smelling, touching, feeling. Very nice.
Perfect, because that is the perfect time to then try Laphroaig. So this says Laphroaig, 10-year-old, from ex-bourbon casks.
Beautiful cork. There we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so what you want to do is just warm her up a wee bit in your hands.
Yes.
What'll happen is the flavours kind of come out slightly.
Mm-hmm.
If you give it a gentle nose. Very keen and interested to hear what you're getting there.
Well, I smell certainly the smoke, flowers, sweetness.
That's all coming from the location, the cold smoking technique, all these different things all combined. So I'm going to let you have a taste because I've got a wee adventure for you after here.
Really? Okay. It's profound, unique. It's clean.
Yeah.
It's complex.
And then you get this lovely, gentle sweetness that follows. And if you really dig deep into the depths of it, you even get that kind of citrusy lemon and maybe a wee bit mango or
Pineapple. I love to feel that because pineapple is quite acid on it when it's fresh. But when you burn it and cook it for 8 hours, it has something of this. I really like it.
So, Francis, after walking round, what else have you just discovered in that glass that you've maybe seen on your tour?
Well, you know, I think that there's a big relation in the whiskey with craft, you know. I remember all the hands I've seen, you know, the ones in the oven, the ones upstairs where the barley is, and then in the peat, David, he was there with all these incredible tools. There was a deep knowledge.
So, when it comes to flavour,
Yes.
I think it's the one thing that really excites me working here at Laphroaig. It's always that pursuit.
Yes.
These iconic flavours we're searching for. With the Laphroaig 10, that pursuit almost seems like you've made it. It hits all the right notes.
It's very beautiful to be here and to see the idiosyncrasy of their work and their thoughts. We have many things in common, is smoke and fire, and it's beautiful too that we're different. I think that they are not doing things in a hurry, and that's what I love in my work. We embrace together that the beauty of life is fragility and the beauty of work is fragility, which I think is the most beautiful thing.
This is Port Ellen. This is home, sweet home for me, Francis. We've got a fisherman this way, which we can go and barter some langoustines for.
Hello, Barry.
How are you today, Archibald?
Fine, how do you?
Grand, this is Francis.
Nice to meet you, Francis.
Nice to meet
how
you.
you?
Today's catch of the day.
It is. Look at them.
Look at them. What a color. I've been thinking how to cook them. Obviously, we're going to eat them with some Laphroaig. And I like the sweetness of them. They just would need a bit of butter and salt.
That's all you need.
Because if you add anything else,
It just spoils it.
yes, what is that?
The currency of Islay.
So you pay with that.
This is why we pay you.
This is how we all pay each other. It's a
Okay.
barter system we have going.
Well, maybe-
Langoustines for Laphroaig. Oh, well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Archibald.
Bye-bye.
See you later,
See you later,
Barry.
Archibald. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Beautiful port.
Yeah, we're going to jump on a boat. We're going to go out diving for scallops. So, Francis, this is my dad, Craig. Dad, this is Francis.
Craig, hi.
Hi, Francis.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, and you too. Lovely to have you aboard.
Good to go? I'll get the ropes. The divers are going to be in Laphroaig Bay today, so we really wanted to find something even more connected here. The other side of that wall is where we tried the 10-year-old earlier.
Ah, yeah?
Yep. You can probably understand why we've got that saltiness in it. Here we are, Francis. Laphroaig Bay. You can almost taste them.
Hello.
Hello, John. Hello, Lynn.
Hello.
Francis. This is Francis. Francis,
Hi,
John,
nice
and
to
Lynn.
meet you.
How are you?
Very well. How are you?
How has the diving been?
Very good.
Really?
Yes, always good at Islay.
So, Francis, John was in school with my dad, and John's daughter Lynn was in school with myself.
Oh.
A couple of years younger. We'll get ready then and get going. Don't worry, yes?
Grand.
Thank you. That's great. So, look at them. They're great. They must be delicious. And we go home with a treasure?
We take the treasure straight into Laphroaig.
That's right.
Awesome. Feel the weight of them.
Really? Very nice.
Well, the only things I chose from the distance of Argentina when we started talking about that dinner were the techniques.
So here we have a typical feast that we do. This is a dome, and we hang food from here.
Fantastic.
And on this side of the dome, we can cook for 300-400 people. We have 2 ribeyes, and we have the chickens. Stuff them with butter and lemon, you know. And we cook them very slowly, first on the bone side, and we will flip it an hour and a half before dinner. So at the last moment, we get some heat on the very tender parts of the meat, and we get a crust as well. So that's how we cook with the dome.
Very similar to our kilns.
Yes.
You've added peat to this fire.
Yes, we'll see how it tastes, because I think that the peat will give it a very different personality today. What I'm doing here is I'm going to cook the cabbages, but this is another way where you cook it in the plancha for like an hour and a half, so it roasts very slowly. So we're cooking rescoldo now, which is the typical Argentinian, or cowboy in Argentina is called gaucho. He starts a fire for breakfast, and then he sort of buries vegetables in the ashes, and he will come back to have them for lunch. You're going to have a plate with a salt-crusted salmon, some langoustines, and a scallop. And that will be served with an aioli sauce. And then we go to the big beasts. We have the ribeyes, and then we have the hanging chickens. With that, you're going to have some rescoldo vegetables and enjoy dinner. Thank you. Salud.
Flanger.
I don't believe in harmony. I like to have clashes in my mouth when I eat. It's like having angels and demons inside.
Okay.
So one is, more peaceful than the other, but there's a contrast. In a way, I would say that this seafood is the angel. And Laphroaig is a bit of the demon in the nice way, It just takes over, that clash.
Yep. It does remind me of Laphroaig. In some rights, you have big, bold, powerful, smoky flavours, and then you don't expect that light body and that sweet finish.
Yes, at the end, the aftertaste.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting, the whiskey with the meat. I think it works really well, how it clashes. The chicken sauce is done with these oranges that I burnt whole in the peat here.
I can taste them.
You can taste it,
yeah,
no?
Absolutely. If you're honest, when you live in a place for a long time, you can sometimes start to take it for granted.
Yes.
But it's moments like this, sitting having a dram, where you really just appreciate, what's on your doorstep. At Laphroaig, there's everything that's grown here, and the beef and the whiskey.
Yeah.
It's all right there. It's really fantastic.
Barry has a very witty mind. He's young, he has a lot of experience, and I think that his mind is very modern in a way, because he embraces the past, but as well he looks into the future with his own spices of thought, and I think that's important.
After 11 years, you think you're starting to get to know everything, And then someone like Francis comes along and he really makes you step back a wee bit and just completely appreciate exactly where you are, what you have, and to take away his style of clashes and flavours and things. It's been a real learning experience.
So, the first of many adventures.
Yes, that's right.
Slàinte.
Hello. Hello.